Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
I want my coffee. Do you agree with me that my coffee should be in a better place?
Spiritually or physically?
You know what the problem is? In the office, and this is a very interesting story. You want to lie down?
I already am.
Okay. Are you really? You lie down during the show?
Absolutely.
Do you ever get excited? Beep, 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 beep. You like that? Like add on at the end?
The beeps, yeah.
Oh, fuck. I forgot what I was going to say.
Good.
Come on. It was a goodie. It's an oldie, but a goodie. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Andy.
What's the temperature?
65 degrees here.
Yeah. 65 degrees. This is what I want on my deathbed.
Yeah.
How you feeling? Andy, one more time. What's the temperature? 65 degrees downtown Los Angeles. Andy Kindler's dead. Thank you.
Andy, what's the temperature in the ground?
Wow. I gotta tell you, it feels cold down here, Joshua. Wow. I gotta tell you, being dead is not what I expected. It's not fun. And it's cold.
I think you could be the king of dead morning radio.
Well, it's already dead.
Yeah, sure.
So I could certainly help. Oh, God. I was up early today, too.
I saw that.
I was up early today working on the show.
Yeah.
You know what's sad, though? And then you're going to put me down for it, though.
Probably.
You're going to put me down. So why should I tell you?
Okay.
Why wouldn't I
don't know. You're at your own peril now.
Is that I still have a problem completing a bagel, or I still have a problem. Problem.
You do, because you've been up for a while.
Yeah. Why? Oh, I see. It's better when I'm not up for a while.
Yeah, at least then you're cramming.
Oh, I know what you're saying. More time, more things can go wrong.
Well, no. I'm saying more time, you could have fucking gotten your shit done.
Oh, my God. Why are you so angry at me? Oh, I don't like it.
Let me count the ways.
Come on. You put, how come I see myself in every person who fails at the Olympics? That's me. That's me, folks. Andy Kindler's been waiting for 4 years.
Frankly, I think
moment.
that's still giving yourself too much credit.
Well, I know I couldn't be in the Olympics. I know that.
That would imply you showed
metaphor.
That would imply you showed constant dedication and then failed.
No. Just the part where you're being expected to do something. Because in the this happened in the some kind of skiing event.
I think you would have a better analogy if you were watching people playing carnival games and failing.
Oh, look, had I said, if anybody is insulted because I said I was as good as a skier, like these people online, they go, yeah, those the snowboard looks, nice tricks, but shouldn't be in the Olympics. What the fuck are you talking about? Shouldn't be in the Olympics.
Are there people saying that online?
Yes, there are people saying it. If you look up anything online,
Yeah.
like I looked up, here's what I looked up. What do those other two people on the bobsled do in the 4-man bobsled?
I think they sing.
They sing?
Yes.
Oh, well, they do. That's in Cool Runnings.
Well,
but
I've never seen Cool Runnings, but
neither have I. I don't even remember when the Jamaica team was in the thing 24 years ago. I don't remember anything that was hyped.
Well,
but I liked it.
All I know is John Candy was still alive.
Oh, that's right. Because I didn't see that movie either.
No, I did not either.
Am I wrong with either? Okay.
Let's call the whole thing
Andy,
off.
There was just a song written about it. No one's ever thought about it before, you fucking stupid Jew. Josh, that's going too far.
It was. I shouldn't have gone there.
Okay, what was that? Come on. I was right in the middle of something hot.
I don't know. You were about to trash Ted Lasso.
Come on. Can you believe Megan Keister there's, I guess, two people. Somebody else, Jake Flores. Can you believe it? People, what are they making a fuss over?
It's hilarious.
It is really good. This is a good day for that.
It's such a signifier of where we're at as a people, where the amount there is no, as we were talking about last week, dynamics anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
People's hatred is always at 11 for every topic. And
Well, of course,
there's just
you're
no
not going to
sorting.
enjoy
There's
it.
just no sorting out what's important anymore.
No, and if you can enjoy Megan Keister's act or Twitter page, she hates everything. She's more negative than me, ladies and germs.
Yeah, and better at it.
I was thinking that when you said it.
But that was really funny. That especially how it trended with people are reacting to a comedian's characterization of fans of the popular show.
Just talking about it. Who writes those little things? Those are
I don't know, but it's
descriptions.
wildly inconsistent. The trends that get descriptions and the ones that don't.
I don't remember them ever having that part where they kind of describe it today.
Well, it's become necessary because you'll see things trend and you can click on them and you can spend an hour and still not know why they're actually trending.
Yeah, I don't understand the difference between for you and trending. I mean, I know what they're doing. They're coming in here. They're seeing what I do. They're looking at my books. I know what they do.
Yeah, sure.
You can't fool me. I think you can fool me.
I can fool you.
Well, I was going to make another comment about the Olympics.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Oh, damn it. You know what? I'm so tired of my whole thing.
Yeah.
My whole thing is to be in the moment. So why am I, but then I forget what I'm saying. So then I have to make everybody, what I'm saying? This is the way it's going to be at the home. Did I hurt you?
It did.
Why?
Just because, everything ends up at the home these days.
Oh, I thought I was too loud.
No, it just actually hurt me content-wise.
Home. Okay, why do I do it again? Slowly get turned. Do you know what happened to the guy when in Niagara, what the original incident was in Niagara Falls that the guy does not want to be reminded of?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Slowly I turned. That's not part of your, what's that called? That's not part of your growing up repertoire?
No.
The Abbott and Costello bit?
No.
About I'm very sorry. I thought
I know the reference.
Literally,
I know the reference, but I don't know
okay, so it's only going to be 5 more seconds.
Okay.
It's like, you're not supposed to say Niagara Falls.
Okay.
Never say that to him. So when you say that to him, he kills you. But I've never seen the thing played out.
Yeah. So to you, it's just a reference to a reference as well.
Well, that's kind of my hook.
Yeah.
In a way. But no. I thought that maybe
Andy
there was
Kindler,
an example.
information once removed.
Well, like the person on third base, I don't know, home, there's a whole version of that, and it's all funny all the way through.
Says you.
I like it. So you can do that bit, but the bit where he goes, slowly I turn, step by step, inch by inch, and I killed him, and I ran, and I hit him. That, I've never seen that somewhere performed, so I'm thinking that's the part of the joke is just to say, and I turned.
Huh. So you don't get it is what you're saying.
No, I do get it.
All right.
It's funny even as the joke is don't say this thing to a person.
All right.
All right. And I don't know. It's just like the one I can't get out of my mind when Lou Costello goes into the bake shop and he keeps telling the guy, change it. Can you put this on it? Can you put a swing on it?
I'll eat
Can you
it
make
here.
it motorized?
I'll eat it here.
Yeah. I can't get it out of my mind.
I know.
Here's another thing I can't get out of my mind from that show. Mr. Fields comes in with some kind of a thing that you look into. Like, what are those called? Gyroscopes?
Some kind of thing you look into. Are we talking microscopes?
Kaleidoscopes.
Okay.
Right. So he goes, I don't know if it's Lou or he goes, look at this. And the guy goes and goes, unbelievable. It's like he's looking at some sexual thing.
Yeah.
But they don't. Pretty good, huh? And what am I supposed to do with this information as a 5-year-old, a latchkey kid who hasn't seen his mom or father for 3 years?
I would say stew on it for 60 years.
Also, the character of Stinky bothers me.
Yeah, the name or the concept?
No, not the Stinky part. But just that it bothers me because I must have seen it too young. So I guess I took on how negative Stinky was as a character.
Yeah.
I hope that I wouldn't be looked at as a Stinky.
Sure. How do you feel about Pigpen?
Pigpen is Pigpen I love.
The Peanuts gang, not the keyboard player.
Not the kid. Well, he's dead. But the Peanuts guy, I love that guy. That's a, you know what I'm saying? You want to talk about, if you want to have a podcast about bits that worked, you got Linus's blanket, you got Pigpen's dirt, you got the naturally curly red hair lady, and I can't think of three more examples. You have the little baby.
5 cent psychiatry.
5 cent psychiatry.
Football kicking.
Right.
Or lack thereof.
Yes. And I would argue till I die, and I'm hoping it's soon because I'm starting to aggravate myself, that I love Peanuts, even though I haven't read that many of them.
You could catch up pretty quick. You could actually catch up pretty quickly.
Yeah. Have you heard my impression of why Nirvana was great?
Yes, I have.
Do you want to hear it again?
Sure.
Okay. First of all, do you know that they used to call them Nirvana?
Did you?
Yeah. Because one time I said, Ginny, what do you think of Nirvana? She goes, no, I said, what do you think of Nirvana? She goes, Nirvana, Andy. Nirvana. You Jew. Okay, so here's my impression. It's dynamic. So it's like, I wanna go to Badasa and yo, and then you know, and I love you too. Ah! Wah, 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 wah! Wah, 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 wah! Ah, 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 ah! Oh, oh, oh! I got it out of my system now.
That's good. Till next week.
Do you have a sting that's as good as that? I don't think so.
I have you doing a better version of that last week.
You know what? This is the kind of thing. Do you know what? I really think I am losing my mind.
You actually tried with words. Last week you tried with words instead of the
yeah, because who's that comic used to go Charles Nelson Riley. I'm learning to use You're not the only one who does voices and things and such. Sure. I do them too.
That was kind of more Charlie Callis to me, but
and so he went down to the bar and he went to the hole and he went to the and he put the in the hole. Oh, I was thinking I was thinking about products that come out for Foster Brooks. There should be a product that was sold.
By the way, your Charlie Callis and your Nirvana are shockingly close.
I don't think I do. I think if you could, you know how they say there's only, who's that guy? Robert McKee, there's only 7 plots. With me, there's only like 2 or 3 voices. Jew.
And then you plot.
Hello.
Yeah.
I just make a bet. I said to my therapist, I think I could be quiet for 7 seconds. She goes, I don't think you could during the podcast.
Yeah.
I said, you watch me next week.
You're the one who started a list, though.
A list of what?
A list of the voices you do. Number 1, the Jew. And
number 1, the Jew.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1, the old Jew. I'm so old and I'm Jewish and I could die next tomorrow. And then I do just a very generic old man. I've been living in these parts for such a long. Oh, little fella. Then I do Italian. Hey, who wanted the pizza pie? I'm so sick of myself. If I died right now, I would be upset that it didn't happen earlier.
Less editing.
Less editing. Less editing. Who is that guy?
I don't know. That's voice number 4, apparently.
Yes, it is. It is. Do you know that you have a very good voice? I've listened to you now many times.
Yeah.
I thought you would be like that. You would sound like this on the podcast. Hey, man. I thought you'd sound like my impression of you, my old impression of you from 12 years ago. Hey, man. How you doing?
Yeah. I don't, though.
No, you sound like this. We got quite a show today. And, no, you sound great. You sound great. You move the show along. Well, you don't move the show along.
No.
Can't you even lay a little pipe?
I honestly don't sound as good as I did last week because I'm using new headphones now, and they don't have as much bass in them.
All I know is this guy,
which is irrelevant to you, but my voice changes.
No. You think I enjoyed taking apart and criticizing your cable? That I said that it was a free cable. I paid for it. That's what you said. I paid for it.
Yeah.
What do you want? Money back for that cable?
No, I just want you to call a spade a spade.
Okay. Now, unless you're playing hearts, how come I can't really do that kind of comedy? You know what I mean? Where you just like
Because you don't know enough.
Well, no, I do know enough. That's my Groucho when I do the Groucho interviews, right?
Right.
How long have you been a comic? How long have I not been a comic? Like that.
Right. As if speed matters in print.
And oh, that's good. That's livid. I enjoyed that so much. Holy moly. You know,
Back to the mic, Andy.
oh, I swear to God, I did not smoke yet.
That's
I didn't
good.
smoke yet.
Please don't.
But that sounds like me being high because I swear to God, Josh, I was back there about 4 feet back there. I had no consciousness of it.
Yeah. No, we heard it all happen. You reclined on the laugh and then didn't come back.
I went, I'm like this. And then I saw have you seen the new Perry Mason? Why would I use Perry Mason as a new product?
I don't know.
Oh, there was a new Perry Mason. I actually liked the new Perry Mason. It was on it was a series on something.
On
Netflix, maybe.
It was on HBO.
HBO. So, all right, let's go with something else. I like when I pretend I already create the uncomfortable moment.
Like
all right, let's get past
like
this
we've exhausted a topic yet.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about anything. Look, can we just go on from here? I did talk to my first of all, I'd like to ask you this question.
Okay.
What's new with you? Is there anything you'd like to cover?
Okay. What's new with you is
in
not
the podcast.
What's new with you is not a useful question.
No, that's the type of thing that you told me to take a vacation from.
All right.
Okay. Would you? There's no good way to do it. You're supposed to naturally why don't you just naturally go into some kind of a story
All right.
that happened to you this week?
I got a 2 on Wordle.
Is that like, that's like you're a genius, right?
Yeah.
Are you as smart as my father was? Because I don't know how smart he was. All I know is that he was significantly more intelligent than me.
Yeah. Well, I'm as smart as him and I love you.
My dad loved it. Hey, come on now, people. Now listen, listeners, listen. Just because I do a joke every week about my mom's dead, so that's good. And what else is in the news? You know why I'm upset, Josh?
Yeah.
I didn't get a goddamn dime from those people. Didn't you think that my parents would have had $1 million in antiques? What the fuck happened?
Instead, they had a second child.
They sold that house. All we talked about the whole time they lived in that house was, oh my God, when you sell this house. And when you sold the house, it got paid for my mother's long-term care and things like that, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
We sold it for 1.7 million, whatever it was. No, it was 1.7. Whatever it was, we were in the red.
Yeah.
I've told the other people. We still have antiques from my mom.
I bet.
That could be a lot of money.
Sure.
Let's have more discussions. Is this like Leno talking about his Tonight Show money?
I still got dolls. I've never sold a doll.
The first time. This is why I think Jay Leno doesn't have really good friends who he can talk to.
Yeah.
Because wouldn't you think the first time he did that, someone would say, Jay, stop talking about how you're rich and you haven't even spent your money. It's not cool.
Right. At least
you were at the house
At
once.
least pick up the check, Jay. Come on.
Come on, you were at the house. You could have said something.
Hold on, I have to scold my dog. Not right now, no. And off she goes.
How do you reason with it? You just reason with your dog. Like a regular human being. You didn't go, no, nee. You said, not right now.
I didn't actually reason.
I
created a boundary, and she respected it.
Oh, my God. This is what... Oh, here's one of my questions. Somebody was making fun of me. Because not knowing what's an animal and a penny is bad. Right?
Sure.
So, I forgot the question now. God damn it.
Someone was making fun of you.
Something about animals that would be so ridiculous.
Huh.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I apologize. Is this entertaining?
It felt like
it
really felt like you had loaded up the gun for that.
I know. This is what's happening to me, and this is something that I need to solve. No, I don't need to solve it. but I need to become comfortable with the fact that my memory is going.
Yeah.
It sounds like Regis.
All I can say is more brain function. Yes, please.
I get every time I say that commercial, it's more like the way she says it's like hey, listen up, America. I'm not just playing the role of someone who's extremely bright. I don't
just play someone brainy on TV. I'm an actual neuroscientist.
Yes, get it.
Also, I'm Blossom.
Was Blossom a physicist? Was that the premise of that show?
Yes.
Or am I mixing up Doogie Howser?
That was the same.
Was she like a Doogie Howser?
It was the same. Yeah, she was a physicist, and
is Doogie? This is going to be my question. That would be like, is an animal a foot or is a shoe? Is that based on a true story? I think actually Doogie Howser, they claim, is another one of those things that was. Have you seen? Did we talk about inheriting Anna or?
Yes. Inventing Anna. Yeah.
Oh. What can we talk about that I haven't talked about?
I don't know. Before? Maybe we should have waited till Wednesday.
No. I want to tell you something right now. I love the idea. Here's why I think Monday's better, unless you don't need to do Monday, unless it's a bit not good with your schedule. I feel like we just get something out. It feels like the week is more open.
Right.
That way.
Yeah.
And we're fresher, too. We're fresher. By Wednesday, I do a lot of work. On the weekends, I relax. I don't know if you realize.
Right, but by Wednesday, reality sets in.
I haven't done a thing since I haven't done one thing for myself except maybe call Rich Brotherton in 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't want to go.
You've walked a lot.
Oh, Josh. I really think that is my one saving grace that's kept me out of the clean and sober territory.
Yeah.
What's that movie? I like that movie. I don't know if it's still good. Michael Keaton became. I think I like Michael Keaton a lot.
You should.
Yeah, I mean that guy. Okay, Josh.
All right.
You have to tell me something. You have to step up to the plate now.
Okay.
And out of a regular conversation, you go, "Hey, Andy, I meant to tell you." Oh, Andy, before I forget.
All right, here's one. I tried the coffee from your friend.
No. Wait. This is really the coffee from my friend?
It's 4 something.
No, you're not talking about 4 Barrel, are you?
I think so. That's the only thing you gave me was that and the other.
I gave you 4 Barrel? I don't believe so.
Okay, it's 4.
It's Ruby. It's called Colorful Coffee, right?
No.
Okay, we're going to have to talk offline.
All right, well, this now it's on you. Because you didn't even give me your friend's coffee.
I didn't even give you the coffee of my friend?
No.
That's ridiculous. I can't even believe it. I'm a failure.
You're causing heartache, Andy.
No, this is the second week in a row. I mean, it's one thing if a conversation happens about something that we all have the details about.
Right.
But I fear for the listeners, Josh. I'm not scared.
Me too. I do too.
Well,
all right. Then I'm drawing the line. No more coffee, Andy.
Okay.
I'm just going to stick to my own.
Okay. Well then, but I have 3 12-ounce things coming from Rob's Beans, and I'm happy to keep them.
Enjoy them.
Yeah. You know what it is too? It doesn't help you. You already have your thing lined up. You buy 15 pounds of Intelligentsia dark roast. And that's it. It's in the thing. It's in a queue.
Yes.
That's it. Why would you want to mess around? Why don't you put this thing I got from Cleveland? Throw that in your thing.
Yeah. I don't need the wild card in my morning.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah. You know what? I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. Oh, don't apologize.
But if I do have something fun that I know you would like.
Okay.
Like I don't think you like bagel. I haven't had bagels except for I ordered the frozen Brooklyn bagels that Gelson's has.
Yeah.
And they're fantastic.
Are they?
I really do. I love them. They're everything bagels. But then I'm beginning to think, do you think that maybe my taste buds are starting to call it a day and I'm going to be like one of these people? It was delicious. Have you had U-Band coffee? Delicious.
It really does taste like everything, this bagel. There's poppy, there's onion, there's copper.
Oh, Josh. Any updates on your show business life?
I have no show business life. That's the update.
But you also have no desire. We're not going out to the clubs. We're not going out yet.
Well, I don't consider that showbiz anyway.
Oh, I
Me doing stand-up does not rise to the level of show business.
Well, it's the only show business I know. I mean,
I know. I split off many years ago.
What do you call it? The cabaret world? The cabaret
Sorry.
world?
Get your cabaret card.
Why am I laughing? I don't want to. Can I have the laughing without the cough? I'm dying. And we'll be back. What is heterodox? I looked it up, but I can't figure out what it is. And I'm asking the wrong person.
What is
right?
what? What is what? I'm afraid.
A heterodox. I think it's someone who believes that.
If there's a bustle in your heterodox, don't be alarmed now.
Where did I read a good article about I think in the New Yorker about Led Zeppelin. I wish I had known. I was more familiar with. Did you read that article too?
I did not. No.
Oh, they were because I remember reading Hammer of the Gods and all those books about how they almost killed. How they debauched their way through.
Right.
But I wish I knew more. But I'm wondering. I think now the reason was because when they got popular, I was 21. Well, when did they get popular? Early 70s? No.
Very late 60s.
Okay, forget it. Okay, my whole theory is completely wrong. I thought they came along in the mid 70s or something like that. I'm so
They hit
wrong.
their peak in the early to mid 70s.
Oh God, just go on.
But
to something else.
they were on the radar by I'd say like 69.
Oh, you take over, Josh. I think I'm having.
I could be wrong because I wasn't alive, but
no, they were. But why wasn't I as into them then? I don't know.
Because a lot of people weren't. From what I've read and observed, there was a lot of division about Led Zeppelin, and rock critics fucking hated them.
Oh, and also the article I read says the Beatles hated them, and a lot of people, fellow musicians, hated them at first.
Yeah,
but they got some good music, right?
My problem with them is that they're just not funny at all.
It's true, right?
For a guy who keeps asking if anyone remembers laughter, I'm not sure he does.
Well, actually, I think is it Robert Plant? He does music with Alison Krauss or something.
Yeah, I'm not. And they're all
good,
terribly talented men. And yes,
but they did some things I think in their personal lives.
Yeah, I think
that may not be up to snuff.
They're kind of yucky, and I think Jimmy Page is a big dick.
Right. But for the grace of God go I, because I don't know, if I had been just a few years younger, I already looked like a rock god, didn't I, Josh?
Yeah,
You've seen
I've
pictures
seen
of me.
it. Yeah.
Oh, I would have been like the lead in Almost Famous.
Sure, the 12-year-old rock writer.
No, not him.
Ah.
No, I would be him. I forgot who the other guy's based. The guy who jumps off the swimming pool is based on something. Right. Oh, I think it's Morrison. Maybe.
I don't think it was Morrison, but
it's not Morrison.
No.
Why am I going further into that movie? that has to be a sign of that things are not going my way. I'm so sad about no football. I don't know what to do now. There's nothing to watch after the Olympics. I love those Olympics.
Wow.
I love them. I didn't love them, but I like them.
This is a nice little inner tube ride down the river of your mind.
Yeah, you know it. No, everything's fine with me. You don't have to worry about my mind. You don't have to worry about my focus.
Football is apparently the only sport that doesn't have something that depresses you.
Yes, because, for example, if I had to live in Norway and just get excited about luge every 4 years,
yeah,
I love that kind of Don Rickles guy. Yeah, that's all I want to do is sit around in a bucket and go down an ice sled. Those are fun to watch, but they really aren't great sports. I mean, they are great sports, but I'm just saying I can't imagine getting into something like that. How do you even enjoy it except once a year?
I don't know. I mean, like, bobsledding looks like fun.
Yes, it does. But then you have to go, for that one thing, but that you're talking about bumper cars or something like that.
How do you mean?
In other words, like, bumper cars are fun too, if you don't get hurt.
Well, yeah, they are.
And this would be, if I knew I could go down one of are you saying we could go into one of those?
They make
Me and you could get into those.
They have these things called alpine slides too, which are, like, there's one in northern Minnesota that I went on where it's at a ski resort, but there's like a really super long cement, almost like a bobsled run, but for tourists. And you go down the ski hill traversing on this metal thing, on this little wheeled
That
sled.
sounds great. Is it fun?
It's super fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a killjoy.
So
which I actually
and that's enough. Like I don't need to really go past Alpine Slide to bobsled.
Well, I didn't. I
The same way I'm kind of as happy. I'm happy with as happy with a scooter as I am with a motorcycle. It just the sensation is I don't need super speed. I'm not a thrill seeker. I'm a sensation seeker.
True. And that I thought about that the first time I slept with you.
I still haven't felt any sensation from that.
I had so much fun I went on a snowmobile once.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are fun.
But I've never been on a motorcycle.
But they make your balls vibrate for 3 days. It burned the hair off it was a horrible machine.
What's this from? Is that Our Brooks?
From Defending Your Life, yeah.
I have to see that movie again. I have only seen it twice, and I don't think I remember it that well.
It's kind of a perfect movie. I think you should watch it again.
Yeah, I will watch it again. That you can recommend to me. That's not going to be where Alex Gibney is going to run out and say Obama's craven.
Right.
Safe. It's safe for me. I feel like one of these people like, oh, don't say that around Andy. He's so sensitive.
You do. You do hold on to some of the dumbest grudges in the business for sure.
Let me see. What grudges am I currently? Oh, there's a million. What am I? I'm looking at it would take me time. I just thought of 12 things that I'm angry about.
Yeah, go to your Grudge Minder app.
I have grudges just amongst our friends, everybody. Good night. It's a wonderful, let the listener think about what that, get a clue. This is what I say to the listener.
I think anytime you feel like you're losing your mind, just go back to your grudges.
Oh, it's so good.
It's like I did with Gruber years ago. He said, I think I'm losing my step. And I go, how many cigarettes do you have in your pack right now? He went 7. I went, you're okay.
Oh man. Well, the thing about it is, when they say that rage is bad. So I'm working and I'm doing very well in therapy too. So
yeah, you're not raging at your therapist anymore.
What are you making up that I did?
You said your rage got better in therapy. So.
Yeah, I said, would you shut up? A lot. I would say that a lot. And after a while, she said, I can. What did she say again? You cannot come in here.
No, I think we're out of time.
I just want to let you know that how nice I'm being, not bringing up Jon Stewart. No, I wasn't really going to bring it up, but I knew it drove you crazy eventually.
But Jon Stewart didn't. It's going back into Rogan land that really hurts me.
Yeah, because it's such an unpleasant area.
It's an unpleasant area, and it's been overly trodden on in culture lately.
Well, I think it's going to remain overly trodden on until something happens. Like
maybe, but that doesn't have to happen here, does it?
No, it doesn't at all. But I was going to say, what was I going to say? But what I was talking to my therapist about was that I said to her, because most of the time I've been in therapy, it's been a process of, either telling you or Susan or my therapist, okay, what happened online, that kind of a thing.
Right.
What happened online. So my old gauge was, what am I hoping to accomplish from this? That was my old gauge.
Right.
But then I started to go, and I know you're going to make fun of me. I started to go.
Make fun of me.
I know that's an example of what I mean. Is that I said to my therapist, I know I sound like a cliche. I said, but sometimes I just want to, speak truth to power. I want to say this thing about Jon Stewart or say this thing about whatever it is. It's bothering me so much that Jon Stewart is, not like. Just one comment, for example, like Jon Stewart won't even. He's too rich or something, or too successful to acknowledge that he was wrong. I mean, he was clearly wrong. When he's not going to ever acknowledge it. So anyway, the point is, I said, I just want to be able to speak truth to power. But then we figured out that the problem is I can do that, but it's going back. It's like I can say these things that I really believe, and maybe people go, "Oh, you're being too harsh." But it's the going back into the arguments with the people. That's where which is just useless.
Right.
There's no happy warrior part to that.
Right.
So I can be more like Frank Conniff or people that you like who are, they don't give a shit.
Right.
But what I tend to do is go, hey, you suck, Jon Stewart. Hey, Josh, you think I was too hard? Hey, Susan, I yelled at Jon Stewart again today. Hey, Stephanie, that's just a whiny, get that whiny asshole out of here.
All right. Yeah, it's one or the other.
One or the other. Thank you. And vote for me. Did you see Gavin, what's his name? It's not McLeod.
Newsom?
Yes, he was so good on Jonathan Capehart interviewed him. He explained the local school board. I don't know. I just had never, ever seen a clip with him where I went, I know he's smart, but he was always so smarmy and.
Right.
But now it's like, I like it. I start to get lost in his eyes.
Ah. Maybe a little, maybe you guys can go have a little date at the French Laundry.
I don't follow you.
Huh?
I don't think I've ever heard that one before. I like that. Is that gay?
No, that's the restaurant he got shit for eating maskless at during the pandemic. That sparked his recall campaign pretty much.
Oh yeah. But that was truly the side of Gavin Newsom I don't like.
Yeah. Him eating with a group of rich people at the most exclusive restaurant in the West Coast.
Yeah, this is the part of politicians I don't like, where you catch them hiding in a room. Don't let them see us. Get the lobster over here. We're doing exactly the opposite of what we counsel them to do.
Yes. But no, I mean, I knew Newsom's okay.
I think so. I think it's
he's well-meaning for the most part, but he's also a piece of shit too. So
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but he's arrogant and all that kind of stuff. But I couldn't believe that he just nailed this thing down. And he explained it for the masses. In this case, the masses were me.
Yeah.
So that happened. Okay, stop it. Truth to power. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm getting you a shirt.
Let's see. I have some other ideas here. What did you need? You giving me a shirt?
I'm getting you a Truth to Power T-shirt.
Oh. Come on. We're already the other stuff in there.
Ask me about the truth, it should say.
Do you want me to do one of my...
Are you powerful? Get ready for an earful.
Can I get rid of the rest of my my Winter Olympics material now?
Sure. Dump it off.
You ready?
Sure.
Okay. I like some of the Winter Olympics, but this thing where they do cross country skiing and then they shoot. I mean, what do you mean? You do cross country skiing and then you build an igloo. How's that? You do 8 miles cross country on the ski and then you make an ice sculpture. What the fuck is it? Right? Thank you. I'll see you in 4 years.
It really is interesting how, I've been in comedy for 15 Olympics now.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like every 4 years, the same, people come up with the same sort of.
Same stuff, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen this luge?
I used to do a bit about how they should combine curling with ice fishing, because at least then you'd have that hole to shoot for. It's gone. We win. Let's have a beer.
Well, you know what I'm saying? If they didn't want us to make fun of curling, they shouldn't have been so silly. What do you want? You know what I'm saying? If I came up with a sport that was like...
But I wrote that for the 88 Olympics, Andy. Literally the 88 Olympics.
All of a sudden... And, I'm still doing this bit. Oh, and Claudine Longet has shot Spider Savage.
Right. You got both Savage? Names right, I think.
I know, I'm good. You know why? Because tonight, the match between Tito Fuentes
and Spider Savage.
How come when you do me doing a voice, you do the voice worse?
It's
of me doing
it's a copy of a copy of a copy. You keep losing.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm all into these NFTs now. I'm going to send you stuff.
Oh, good.
Because Matt Damon's into it. A lot of these people.
Right.
And the reason why I'm into it, I don't know one thing that they're talking about. And so that sounds to me like when you go in with your eyes closed, that's where you start to.
Andy's into NFTs. Not funny talking.
Oh, too close to home, too close to home. That really did hit close to the bone. Every note was off tune. I tried to say it at the end.
I was like in my head, I was going, could I harmonize? Nope, can't do
Nope,
it.
can't. Unless you're John Cage. What's the guy? Schoenberg. Who's the people who did the atonal music?
That both were fine. That was good.
You know what? Ask me what Dennis Miller's favorite. You're going to know the answer to this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll ask you.
All right.
What would be Dennis Miller's favorite Olympics?
Favorite Olympic event?
No, favorite Olympics of the last few Olympics.
Osaka.
What?
Osaka.
I was thinking about Sochi.
Sochi. That was a good one.
Sochi.
Yeah, sure.
Don't you think when it was named Sochi that he could get by just on the look? And I've been watching that winter of like Sochi. Look skiddy-be-dabby. Look scatty-be-dee-be-dee-be. I can't even do him anymore. He's gone. He really is gone.
He is. He's left the arena.
And he's not coming back. He's not coming back because his wife or somebody said, look, you stupid, unpleasant garbage man. Come here. No, you look at me. That's his wife. Everyone hates you. Do you know why they hate you? Now look, hey, come on, sweetie. I'm just doing a couple of chugs. They hate you because you're a horrible human being in your soul. I'm leaving you. Oh, okay. I guess it doesn't sound right at that point.
I think you crossed the Maginot line there.
Could you imagine being Dennis Miller's kid? Dad, I have something to tell you. Oh, great. This is just great. What do you got, choo-choo?
Let me guess, you're non-binary.
He's doing this bit. He's done that bit. Yeah, great. Hey, you know what? Why don't you get binary something so you can pay the bills around here? Ching, ching, chang, chang, choo, choo, choo.
Bring me another kid. I'll call you they.
How is this not being done in an Adam Carolla show right now? Hey, they. Yeah, I got something for you. Why don't you shove it up their ass? Joe Rogan's head. I don't know why I had that sound. Can you take it out?
No, I want it. I'm adding it to the library.
I very much enjoyed figure skating. I love Johnny Weir and Tara. I love those two. I wish I could go home with both of them.
You want
have them describe.
You want to bottle them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I wish. Hey, you know, if they could bottle what I do, Josh, you know what? Can you believe it? If you could bottle what I did, it would be. I would think it'd be like kind of a foul.
You know what? You shouldn't
liquid.
bottle it, Andy. You should fucking can it.
But if my act was bottled, I think it would have like a stench. See, Stinky, you need to go this week. You have to do some homework and find out where Mr. Field, oh, I think it's either Lou. Maybe it's Lou. Mr. Field shows it to Lou. And Lou goes, this is great. And then Lou gets in trouble when he shows it around the party because there's some naked woman. And they go, this is disgusting. I can't get it out of my head, Josh.
Yeah.
I can't get it out of my head. Just like Ant Paste and Antipasta. That episode.
Yeah.
Also, I watched that
time Lou got misled. No, wait, he was misled.
I don't know if you saw the Grateful Dead thing that was on Amazon.
Oh,
but,
the long strange documentary.
Yeah, and where Jerry Garcia talks about being obsessed with Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. And I think I've talked about this before. I was obsessed with that movie. I mean, it was like I grew up on that movie. It scared me, then delighted me, then I got sick of, it's like, once I wrapped up that time period. It seems
like that movie was on, I've talked to other people, and it seems like that movie was on a lot in the New York area in the 60s.
That's true. And where was Jerry? Jerry wasn't, though. He saw it live. He saw it in the theater, Jerry.
Yeah.
1942.
Oh, right. I remember him saying that, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Who are you? I'm the Invisible Man. But I couldn't watch it now. I couldn't watch it now, just like I can't watch Laurel and Hardy, The March of the Wooden Soldiers anymore.
Yeah.
This is what I have to stop doing, which I promise to do on all future holidays. I can't go back to the well. I even tried to watch last Christmas the original Grinch thing.
Yeah.
But it's only a half hour long, and I've seen it 15 times.
Right.
Can't go home.
I don't understand why you keep trying to recapture the feeling of being a young Goyish kid.
I'm just trying to give it a shot, Josh. Give it a shot.
Uh-huh.
Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Boom, boom. Andy, it's your bar mitzvah. And we decided we have a very expensive gift. Open it up. There's nothing in here. Ha ha ha!
You're a Jew one, Mr. Kindler.
He took the chazuzas. He took the muzuzus. He took the afikomen.
Here's a little piece of trivia.
Charosis.
What other beloved character did the voice, the singing voice in the Grinch play?
Oh, well.
The person who sang, You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
He's not Boris Karloff?
He's not.
You're a mean one. It's so weird that I would think that, of course he's not Boris Karloff. Because Boris Karloff, I don't think was much of a singer. This guy's got you should, should I know who it is?
Sort of. I mean, not really.
Not Burl Ives.
I'll give you the name, and then you can see if it
that'd be
you.
good.
Thurl Ravenscroft, I believe, is the name.
No, I don't know that name. Wow. And what else did he sing?
It's not what he sang. He played another beloved character.
Oh, another beloved character. Lurch?
No, not a bad guess, though. It was a commercial character.
Oh, he was Mr. Charmin, Mr. Whipple.
No.
All right, roll over the cards and tell me how I messed up.
Tony the Tiger.
Oh, that's right. He had a great voice. So he do tons of.
It wasn't a great voice. It was great.
You know what though? It's like when I hear Tony the Tiger. To me, I can't separate Tony the Tiger from me being a kid. I didn't say nice job, Tony.
As
the Tiger.
opposed to the Grinch.
Yeah. Well, don't go by me because I'm just nuts. But did he do a lot of different voices in cartoons?
I can only vouch for Tony the Tiger.
This was a good mystery that you solved. Goes back to when you button it up, pewter tiger in your tank.
Yeah, is that what you really thought?
You want to go full. My friend Rose Marie said that her show, she's been listening to the Thought Spirals since the beginning.
Ouch.
And that's what I was originally going to say. And it's lowered her blood pressure. And if that, and this is natural.
I really, honest to God, thought you were going to say IQ there.
No, it's lowered my IQ.
Ah.
Do you think I play an even dumber guy? Because we know I'm a genius.
Sure. But yeah. I only talk to you on the show now, so it's hard for me to say where your actual IQ level is at.
Do you think I'm overplaying the guy who forgets things every 2 seconds? Am I overdoing it?
You just asked me that.
What? And that's how comedy gets put together. You put a couple of words and you put them at funny. And that's how Josh and Andy do it every time. Comedy.
For over 100 years, the Battle Hymn of the Republic has inspired the hearts of millions on both sides of the Atlantic. In England, Sir Winston Churchill claimed it as his favorite, requesting that it be played at his funeral on the great organ at Westminster. More recently, we felt the power of this hymn sweeping over us at the time of the funerals of two great Americans, Senator Robert Kennedy and General Dwight David Eisenhower.
They're great!
It's so funny. I hear you better now than I've ever heard you. Why would that be?
I don't know.
It really sounds like remarkably better. It's very strange. Hi, how are you? And what's going on? And all kinds of things like that. Boom, boom. Beep, 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 ka-dee, boop. Everybody loves when the show starts late, especially the two people, Andy and Josh. We're already tired going in. I guess you should go to a school to write songs?
Nah.
Why not?
I would go to a different vocational school.
So are you saying if I go to, I can't think of one thing that they used to do computer programming? Is that what they used to do?
I was thinking.
Learn computer programming.
Yeah, I was thinking cobbler, but okay.
A cobbler?
Yes.
I don't think, okay, now I'm going to be honest with you. I do not think there's a lot of money in that now. I see the guy even near me and he's like, hello, business.
that might...
Hey, sir, how's your shoe? It's fine. It's fine. I just buy new running shoes every 3 months. So it shouldn't be. I don't think that's the way you should do it, fuckface.
Yeah, see? You're kind of a natural for it.
Yeah. Oh, Josh. You know, it's fun what we do. Not here on the show, not our conversations off the show, but other things that we do are fun.
Right, absolutely. It's our lifestyle that's fun.
Before I forget, I have to figure out what Jen, who is now just crazy about these, what do you call them? Voice recordings?
Voice texts?
Voice text is crazy about them. It's unbelievable. She sent both of us a 4-hour one the other day.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't remember. I'm not sure what I wanted to tell you. What did I want to tell you? What do you do when you're thinking? You'll let me think. I'll try you guys back. 10 minutes later. Oh, now I remember. I can't remember the question though. Can you? Doesn't it drive you crazy? Oh, when people tell you you have to see something, that's the question. Yeah. Does that drive you? Is it something that people say to you that drives you crazy?
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to questions.
Are you sure that the sound, which I've never heard before, sound clearly, is in my head? It's not out in the room?
No. Welcome to my voice.
This is, wow. First of all, I'm turned on. I'm horny. Oh, I'm wrong, Josh. I'm wrong that I'm saying your voice is giving me what would have been an erection in the old days, and now is a little. It feels like I've pulled a muscle now.
It's just a warm feeling I can do nothing with.
You know what's amazing? You are now bored. Even Droopy is bored with the goings on in my pants.
Why wouldn't I be, really?
I know. There's nothing going on. You might as well, take down the CC.
But please, stop with the tap, tap, tap. Is this thing on? No, it's not on.
Well, that's the joke part.
I know, but it's old. And so am I.
Look, all I'm saying is there's nothing going on in my pants, so you can take down the CC. What are they called? The cameras? The CC?
Closed circuit? Is that what you're going for?
Yeah. What is it?
The CCTV?
Yes. Look, there's nothing going on in my pants, so you might as well take out the surveillance. Take away the surveillance cameras. Why do I have surveillance cameras?
It's the worst episode of Big Brother ever.
You were so excited. You were as excited as an infinite penis could be.
I will not be accused of being excited about that.
Oh, I've got surveillance cameras in my pants. That still works, right? Oh, all right. So we'll get to that later, though, right? We don't have to get to that now.
We'll get to it soon. Did you see that Amazing Jonathan died?
No.
Yes.
Did not see that. That's very sad. I thought he had kind of recovered, kind of. He lived a long time past when he thought he was going to live, right?
He did. I think it was about 5 years past the announcement that he had a year.
Did you speak to him recently?
I have not, no. We hung out a bunch years and years ago, and I had a lot of fun with him, but wasn't in touch with him at all.
Yeah. How old was he? Do we know?
He was exactly your age. No, he was early 60s.
Why is that? Why was that? Is that really necessary? That kind of thing? He was your age. He's your birthday.
Yes.
He has your birthday. He also did magic with you or something. That would be one more thing that'd be terrible.
All right.
Every time I think of magic from me, I think of those foam rabbits that you release, and then they seem like there's more foam rabbits. There's more foam rabbits, unbelievably. But I guess those magic tricks were not meant for adults.
I don't even know the foam rabbits.
It has to be the worst trick in the world. It's a small rabbit, tiny rabbit, and it's made of little foam. Yeah. And so all of a sudden there's 7 of them. But they're that size.
Right.
They're tiny rabbits. Yeah. Who would be excited? If there were 1 million of them, you wouldn't be excited.
Right.
Did you have this thing when you were a kid where you go, I guess all kids have this. I really want to do this. Oh my God, Mr. Magic. Everybody call Aunt Charlotte. We're putting on a show. And then 6 days later, this is the most boring piece of garbage I've ever seen. That's the way most toys were like for me.
Yeah.
How about you?
I did juggling more than magic in terms of my carnival skills as a kid.
It's just both of it just sounds depressing to me because it's not like you went world competitive. Oh, actually, you probably were good.
I was a good juggler. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, it
didn't matter, but I was a good juggler.
Wait. Well, how do you say you were? I mean, did you ever go to a school, or what'd you do?
No, I just practiced a lot.
Only I would. That's the typical thing my parents would ask. Is he licensed?
School? Yes, exactly.
Who's teaching you that? Is this Chris Bliss licensed? He's not a doctor.
That was like a central conflict with my mom throughout my life was
the credentials.
Yeah, I'm doing this. Don't you need lessons? No, I don't need lessons.
That must be a Jewish thing.
Right down to going to be a writer without a degree in Hollywood. Crazy.
Oh, so
that was crazy talk.
So she thought if you had a master's of fine arts in writing, what would you have? Or would you have a BA in showbiz?
Exactly. No, it's just the idea of writer without a college degree did not compute to her.
Wow. I mean, I never heard this part before, but don't they know that you...
Oh,
it wasn't your idea to be booked on the road when you were 17?
Huh?
It wasn't your idea to have a career before college?
Well, it totally was my idea. Yeah, it was. But
no, but I mean, it took off, though. I mean, it took off.
I mean, I didn't expect it to go that well at all. No.
Right, but if you had told me, oh, I can't pursue...
Well, they were never, ever against me pursuing any of it.
But it's a very Jewish thing. It's like my mother wanting me...
I never felt like it was negative energy towards me.
Right.
Like I felt like it was fear.
Well, it's all fear.
And it was a fear that I didn't have, you know.
If I'd known that earlier, Josh, I would not have the complex.
Yeah. Well, my mom...
Oh, it's my mother's
My mom
depression.
played such an open hand that it was pretty easy to tell where it was coming from, you know.
I really wish that we could create parallel
Because another
worlds.
one of her fears was seeming unsupportive.
Oh, is that one of her fears?
Yes. So, you know, it was like, you know, they did a good enough job so that I was never, ever afraid that I was going to lose their love, and that's all that fucking mattered, really, you know.
Right.
I didn't mind that I was disappointing them on a small level, you know.
In a perfect world...
Just because I was so fucking certain, you know.
Well, what would they have done? In the perfect world, you would have gone and gotten training, and then...
I think everything would have been the same, except I would have stayed in school for another 3 years.
Right.
I mean, I don't think I disappointed any of them ultimately. And I think I impressed my father at the time by not buckling to people's expectations.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a classic show business story of, you know, you go to school. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to as a fun thing, but if something had been going on You know how those people are? There's like several actors, women actors who are child actors or teenage actors, but then they also go to Harvard.
Right.
Come on, the woman who was in
Jodie Foster did that.
Right. How about the woman who was she danced? She's a more recent actor. She danced she's like in a famous dancing movie, not dancing movie, but like a ballet movie.
Yeah.
I know you know the movie. What's her name?
I don't know. You're really annoying me though.
Come on. Think about it, stupid. It's a movie. It's a movie. And she famously went.
Is it Black Swan that you're talking about?
Yes. And who's that lady?
Was it
Heather Locklear? No.
No. The Jewish one. She was in the Star Wars movies too.
I don't think so. Not Carrie Fisher.
No, not those Star Wars movies.
Why don't they just have the one or two Star Wars movies? Why do I have to be? God, I'm turning into like an old man.
It's just happening now, Andy.
I know, but it's really getting worse. It's like I'm getting like my landlord in Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, who would not watch any movie from James Dean on because he was hard of hearing.
Yeah.
It still kills me. Can you imagine someone being hard of hearing and they're telling you, well, they're not telling you they're hard of hearing. They're just explaining to you why can't those actors speak up?
Yeah.
All right, I've gotten enough out of that story.
All right, but it gave me time to think it was of Natalie Portman, by the way.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And yes, she is the Jewish one who was in the Star Wars movies.
I didn't know she was Jewish.
Yes.
See, that's not the Jews that I saw in my temple. Why do I have to make fun of the girls I went to school with? They were just as attractive as that. I don't even know if Natalie Portman's attractive. Yes, I do. She's a good-looking lady. And she's also one of these ladies that you go, I bet she goes to I bet she's got brains and she goes to Harvard.
Yeah.
I have a real thing about a complex. I know you know this already, but I never thought I had it about who are these fucking people? I think it started with BJ Honeycutt is when I first got really mad.
Yeah.
And I don't think his last name was Honeycutt, but you know what I'm talking about.
No, but I actually started to go back to MASH and going, did he go to Harvard? No, he did not.
I still love the first scene where he came visiting. He goes, how you doing, Farrah Face? That was one of my favorite lines.
Yeah.
He says to Frank Burns. They were always given the business of that Frank Burns.
They sure were.
I thought to myself the other day, will I ever watch a new episode of that? I don't think it's possible. I bet you can't even watch an episode of that.
A new episode of it? Are they making?
Oh, or I know anything you've seen. Of course, the repeats.
Yeah, I've seen it, and it's like listening to an album I've listened to 1,000,000 times.
But there's no misogyny in the show, right?
Well, you can't go back and judge comedy on that shit.
Oh, now you're going to judge. Oh, now you're going to say Hogan's Heroes wasn't appropriate? Now?
I still think it was appropriate.
Now
just
you're going to say
weird.
That's true. It was appropriate. But F Troop, I don't think so. I don't think
F Troop less so, yes.
Yeah, you can't say pale, faced, and plant, but both turn chicken. I understand the spirit of it.
I think it's okay to stereotype Nazis under any circumstances any way you want.
Oh, it's always funny. It's always funny. Hogan, Major Burkhalter.
General Burkhalter, welcome to Stalag 13.
I sometimes got him mixed up with the guy from, who was the guy from F Troop who was the official who'd come around?
I don't know. I never watched F Troop.
Are you kidding me? It was a terrible show.
I know.
Horrible show with people gesturing. I watched. Well, why wouldn't you have watched it when you were young? Didn't you watch all those?
Because something else was on better. Is the only answer to that.
What, A Small Wonder?
Maybe.
Weren't you a big fan of Out of This World?
Completely.
Oh, God. We have fun on the show, right?
Sometimes.
All right. Okay. Well, it's not my fault. I'm on today on Anxiety Bites.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, on Jen's show.
All right, cool. Let's use that as a segue to questions.
Okay, but you know that I need a couple of. Yeah, you have to riff because I need a couple. Of
I don't have to riff. I made a theme song, so I don't have to riff.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
Let's go to Jen's question first. And Jen, of course, has as a past guest and co-host of the show, she has audio texting privileges. So let's go to her question.
My question is this. It is based on my experience with Andy where he thought maybe I was recommending, what's it called? Still Life? No. Afterlife to him, the Ricky Gervais show. But I only talked to him about it because y'all had asked on the podcast, or Andy had asked, does anyone we know watch this show? And I thought he'd get a kick out of the fact that fellow Ricky Gervais stand-up hater me did. Which brings me to my question. I do not like when people, irrationally do not like when people out of the blue tell me you should watch ... I've never had anyone get it right in my life. Or if I say, I like this show, they go, oh, then you'll love this. And they'll suggest something that has nothing to do with that. And so I make it a point, I never recommend things. I will only say, I watched this thing, here's what I thought, and if they want to watch it, they'll make that decision. I don't care who watches what. What in your life makes you irrationally annoyed that people do that's considered normal, that you go, I'm going to make an effort not to do that because I find it so annoying? I'll take my question on air.
So,
So her question is, what do you get irrationally irritated at? And I think asking Andy Kindler that is like saying, hey, Baskin, hey, Robbins, how many flavors do you have?
I mean, look, the thing is, and I've told you this a lot, it's not the moving images per se that bother me. The fact that moving images have been captured with some kind of recording device and played on a commercial environment, that's not what bothers me. It's the advertisements.
No, but she's asking, what do people do? What's something that people do that that's a normal thing that irrationally bothers you?
Don't pull me back when I'm going, Josh. I've told you that.
I don't want to.
Even if the premise is wrong. Well, I mean, the one that she brings up is a classic one, which is when people are too excited about wanting you to see something. It definitely means it definitely almost makes you never want to see it. You have to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can't think of why don't you go first?
No, I mean, the same thing happened to me when she named hers. It was like, yeah, I'm on board with yours.
Yeah. I think, well, I mean, people ask me, what happened? I don't like that one. Why didn't you make it?
What are you up to? That's a harsh question.
Yeah. What are you up to? Are you still doing stand up? I've gotten that one.
Yeah.
Oh, you are. Oh. Any questions that are inquiring anything as to how things are going,
right?
Unless you're related to Rich Brotherton, you don't want to hear it.
Right.
You don't even like it when I ask you.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah. Hey, what's got going on?
I want to move on just to avoid it.
Yeah, what happened with the Rich thing you were doing in the club? Did it get sold and take to the next level? What are the points of those questions? The point of those questions is to make the person feel terrible. So stop asking questions. In general. Also, I hate when people say, hey, when you're done washing your car, you want to wash mine? I don't like those kind of things.
Okay, good.
No, you listen to me, Josh. Good for you. All right, here we go.
All right.
Pickle Sorrell says, where is the oddest location you've ever had birthday cake? Either yours or someone else's. Come on, do the joke. Do the joke, Josh.
Which joke is that, Andy?
In the butt.
All right, in the ass is what she actually said.
I thought it didn't ever happen.
No, it did happen. But it didn't happen as cleanly as the story goes.
Oh, so she says in the ass.
Yeah.
That's delightful. Why can't we see that every time instead of hearing the people?
And she says it as a question, like, in the ass?
I'll tell you, though, thank God, Mike.
And she looks like Roseanne a lot.
What's that?
And the woman looked like Roseanne a lot.
I think I've, but I've had no, I mean, where I've had birthday cake is not a recurring theme in my life.
No, I have no odd birthday cake memories that spring to mind.
I think birthday cake is an odd topic in itself because when it's bad, it's the worst. Cake.
Yeah, I guess.
Don't you hate bad? You know,
I mean, isn't everything when it's bad?
Good point. Solid point. I didn't think of that. This is why you're here or something.
Neutral Milk says missed 245's cutoff. Andy, did you see that a lot of crypto NFT guys are paying people on Cameo to make scripted vids promoting their crypto NFT scams? I don't think you would, but please don't do this. Josh, sorry, you will have to explain all that to Andy.
I know, I'm glad. I mean, the thing is, the only request I've gotten is, could you tell them to watch my podcast? But no. I just learned, if I hadn't just listened to a whole thing about this, how dangerous this is on a podcast that I like called Shitpost, you know, it's like, but I'm glad you warned me because sometimes I'll do things because I want to be nice and I do not want to get involved in this.
Well, good.
What's your take? Because it's supposed to be people really can lose everything if they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. It's a even less regulated stock market, basically.
And on this show they were saying like people will definitely you will get in a position where you can be in a position where you'll lose it all.
Right.
And many people have.
Yeah.
So no, I will not be but I'm glad to be warned about it. You know?
Good.
Because for $35.99, I don't want to be saying you should invest all your money in black market. I'm Andy Kindler. Do you like money? Do you like it pyramid schemes? Do you like getting fucked on a deal? Hey, did you ever do that deal when you were in high school where they give some guy $10 and you'll get, that's what this is. Sign up. Folks, I'm Andy Kindler. All I know is I got $35 for this.
That's right. Actually, a lot less.
A lot less. That's true. That's true. Dan Marsh says, hey guys, what is the worst bit you used to do on stage that you can still remember? I definitely remember this bit. This was the worst bit I did was when I said, hey, I'm 5'5.5". I weigh 150 pounds. I can kick the shit out of any woman in this room. And I make a meal out of that for a couple of minutes.
Right.
Until my friend, John Novotny from Chicago said, you know that one bit you do? That's a fucking terrible bit.
And I'm glad you took it in the spirit it was intended.
No, I hated it when he said it. But he was right. That's also, you really do like, whatever, wince when you think back about things you've defended. Cause I was like, oh, that's my, what was I defending there?
I don't know. You were defending, you were defending your laugh is what you were defending.
Yeah, but I was going further. I was going to say, it's not a bad bit.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's a sad thing. I like when you can remember things when you just had bad jokes, but when you had a bad joke and then someone pointed it out and then you're like, no, I'm going to the wall for this.
Right.
Ugh,
yeah.
That's a weird part of my
Thankfully,
mind.
I don't have that in my memory resume. I would think
Damn right, it's good.
I would think my worst, the one I'm embarrassed by the most probably is, went into a Vietnamese restaurant the other day. Sign up front said, our food contains no MSG. I thought, well, that's nice. I'm a little more concerned about DOG.
Did you have that joke?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And it was wrong, and I apologize to humanity.
Well, it's still better than my joke.
I don't know if it is.
Well, no, it's not. Well, it's more original. It's slightly more. Well, it's not even that. But did you defend it if anybody ever? No one ever.
No one ever challenged it. Until I challenged myself. I'm like, come on.
Because that's in that time period. We came up with a time period with, hey, you don't even mention that you're gay. Don't tell me you want to do pro-gay stuff. Right. I mean, it was a horrible time period.
The only thing I can do, I can't defend it, but I can say that there was a Vietnamese restaurant right next door to the club that I was working at.
Yeah.
And so it was like a natural in. I ate next,
and did it kill?
I ate next door, and
and it killed, right?
And then I kept it.
Not till today, though.
No. I don't think it made it out of the. It certainly didn't. It certainly didn't make it out of the 90s. It might have made it out of the 80s. I don't think it did.
So good.
I don't think it did. Give me tinnitus, says Mr. J. Elvis Weinstein doing Neil Diamond singing the hellos and Smells Like Teen Spirit is quite possibly one of the funniest things I've heard on a podcast. Literal LOL, crying, laughing emoji.
Yay.
Would love to hear Angry Bob Dylan's take on Nirvana. I bet you would.
I mean, that's it?
I'm not a fucking monkey.
First of all, I think Bob Dylan was probably jealous of Nirvana during that time period.
Oh, yeah, real jealous. Yeah.
No, because they really were taking the nation by storm while you were singing about one more.
What kind of voice of a generation kills themselves? That's what I want to know.
And, it's not a good idea to argue with me and Bob Dylan. You can't win.
No, you lost by walking into the room with me.
You walked into the room. You said, "Who is this man?" I said, "Don't be simple." I said, "What's your trip?"
Please don't ever do that again.
I'm sorry, Bob.
Ever do that again.
That should have made you even more angry, and I apologize.
I will the fuck up on you.
I'm sorry. Please, Bob, accept my apologies.
Shut up.
Also, did you know that Scarlett Johansson, who was playing on your Scarlett O'Hara? It wasn't Scarlett. She was out of tune. The woman you had play violin on the Hurricane Carter thing. It's out of tune the whole time.
Well,
does that bother you?
Not as much as you being an idiot.
You're trying to get a guy out of jail, and then it's like, yeah. And then they say he did it later on.
And in your tiny little mind, you're thinking you could have played it better.
I'm asking you, if you found out that Reuben Hurricane Carter killed the man, do you feel bad?
It was a song.
He's so bored. You're so bored. He's so bored. He doesn't need this, Bob Dylan. No. Eastside 76 says, I'm coming up with a pitch for a TV show, a modern version of Stand By Me, but the teacher is a potato. It's tentatively titled Tater Tot. Oh my God, Eastside 76. I see him up with a bong or something. How do you get to this joke? How does this joke come out? Didn't some guy yell at him like saying, "What do you mean you're the official?" I think I saw that. What do you mean you're the official Mexican or something?
Did someone?
I think so. I love when people take like a joke that you're doing and think that you're making a big thing. What do you mean?
Right.
How could you be?
They were on the trail to try to crucify us for having one.
That's true. Oh boy. Hey, just want to let you know.
Well, glad you followed the yellow brick road to that joke, Isai. So.
Tater tot. Okay, I should say good job on that joke, Isai.
DB says when Harpo was a boy, I'm assuming he means Marx, New York City stores bought cats for a penny apiece if mice were bad. He and Groucho put on a show in their basement and charged one cat for admission. They grossed 7 cats, but 3 ran away, so they only made 4 cents. Ever take anything other than money to perform?
No, because I didn't do the cocaine years.
Yeah, I didn't either. But I did a show for Rollerblades once. For the
What's it called?
Rollerblades.
Oh, okay.
For the Rollerblade Company. What's
it called? The Rollerblade Company? No.
Yeah, they were called Rollerblades.
Okay, good. Thought you're pulling my thing.
No, that was the home of Rollerblades was Minneapolis. And I did that time I opened for the movie Punchline.
How was a class?
I did that for like $400 worth of free movie passes, I think, that weekend.
I used to take book certificates from Borders. That was actually not a bad payday.
Yeah.
But I've been paid in weed, I guess. No, not really. No. I make a lot of money and my price is high.
That sounded like a Roger Miller song for a second.
A man will take any kind of gig. He lowballs the price of lower than Carrot Top. He sleeps in his own van. He don't need no middle act because he's... I love that whole topic. It's a parody song, a song people don't recognize really. Oh, what we do is good. It's good for the heart.
That was one of the few times in the entire history of the show where you knew exactly what I was talking about and ran with it.
Oh, my God. Is it me? I forget. Oh, me, right? Hey, Andy, it's Sous Vide says, Andy, I heard that Jon Stewart has surprising thoughts. It's good. I heard that Jon Stewart has surprising thoughts about Joe Rogan. Please comment on this or about a TV commercial you find irksome. Thank you, Sous Vide. Thank you. You know, I can't have the energy to do the bit.
No,
that's how much I've been doing the bit.
You're still on Roger Miller buzz.
Old Stoke.
Bandicoot B says, thanks for your contribution to my work. Andy, for young people, Jon Stewart was a primary source of news and humor in the dark Bush years. He kept young people engaged in current events. It doesn't excuse current nonsense, but he was an integral part of millennials' lives.
That's true. He was. And in fact, people get very upset with me or anybody that puts him down. One of my people who was like a friend of mine, I don't even know who I forgot, but they went crazy on me.
Yeah.
They didn't go crazy on me, but they could not accept that I had said this thing about Rogan. It's like he meant so much to me during this time. But the other thing I'll point out too is that I don't think it's fair in a way that the Daily Show. I think that the Daily Show was more than Jon Stewart, and that's why we liked it. Maybe. You know what I mean? It was Colbert and all those people too. Samantha Bee. So I think he gets too much credit anyway I think he gets too much credit because I don't think he was ever an intellectual thinker going in. He decided to become, what is it when you think when you go, I know better than everybody. Please, gentlemen. What is that called? Elitism or arrogance?
Both, I think.
Yeah.
I just want to go back and say that the question was ironic.
I don't know if it's ironic.
No, I meant the previous question when they said, I heard Jon Stewart has surprising thoughts about you.
Oh, right. I was talking about Bandicoot B.
I know. I'm split right down the middle, and I said this last time we talked about it. I mean, he was good at what he did, but that relevance was, as Bandicoot B says, during the Bush years, you know?
Right. And the other thing is that absolutely, I would cry sometimes when about how much I'm not being stupid, about how much he was fighting for the people who worked in the towers. So, I mean, that is kind of what's a bummer about these things. Like, you don't want to take away that from him. I'm not taking
Well, you
that
do.
away.
You are trying to take away from him. You're saying, I'm mad at him and he was shit back then when I wasn't.
No. All I said, that's not what I ever said. I said, and I think it got people thinking like I'm an envious, jealous person, which I am, but I absolutely believe he was never as funny as people thought he was.
Yeah, but how do you quantify that?
Because I didn't think the Daily Show was ever as good as other people did. I thought it was overrated back then, and I thought that when he went to march to Washington, he fucked. How many years ago was that? That's 11 years ago. So I just think it was a pretty shitty show beyond my own envy and jealousy, which I don't even think I am an envious and jealous guy, but I still stand by the comment that he wasn't as funny as people thought he was.
Okay, but that comment has no value as far as I'm concerned. He was still hugely popular and on a show that everyone perceived as funny, regardless of how you apportion the credit for it.
But that's not what my point is. My point is that he shouldn't have gotten the original credit to begin with as a thinker. He was never a thinker, Josh. People misunderstood that he was a thinker it was him. He wasn't. He just wasn't. So that is a valid point. You ascribe something to him that didn't exist. People don't like to hear from me because I'm jealous. They don't like to hear from me because they think I'm just being jealous because of the way I said it, which was he was never as good as people thought he was. That is a true statement from my point of view.
Okay, but you can't expect everyone to sign off and agree with you and make it such an imperative.
I don't make it that way. I do not make it that way.
Yeah, you're stating it as if it's an absolute truth and everyone should agree with you.
Fine.
And no one.
How come when Frank Conniff does it, you don't have a problem with it?
Because he's better at it.
I don't believe
succinct.
One bit.
He's very succinct.
That is a terrible thing to say, but I'll let you say it.
No, I just don't. I think that the point that you're harping on is irrelevant.
I'm not harping on anything.
Yes, you are.
You've been harping on the person asked about Jon Stewart. I didn't harp on him. I didn't even bring him up. But the point is, when you talked last week and you said I was going too far, that's your own. You are fed up with it. That has nothing to do with me.
And last week I was talking about Rogan, by the way.
Whenever we were talking about, whenever you got tired of it, it's because you got tired of it.
No,
I understand.
No, you're not. Again, I'm saying that your emphatic point that he was overrated, one cannot quantify overrated.
That's bullshit. I think he was overrated. That's all it is.
Okay.
Now, if you said that about anybody, if you said that about a musician or you said that about anybody, you would understand what somebody was saying.
I do, but I wouldn't expect it. But I wouldn't expect everyone to agree with me.
I'm not expecting them to believe it. Nobody has to believe it. Nobody has to believe it, Josh. I really mean that. I think we shouldn't talk about it anymore because we talk about it so much. But I'm saying, I think me trying to defend how I am anywhere doesn't come off good. I mean, or whatever.
Well, I mean, I tried to go on the actual content of what you were saying. That's what I was trying to argue with, not with your.
There's no argument because that's a very unsatisfying argument. What you're trying to say is not that much of an important point, and you say it so much that no. Here's another thing I do is I'm probably over exaggerating on my end how negative it sounds to me what you're saying. So you're probably not saying is negative because I tend to do that with everybody. But I don't know. It sounds pretty negative what you're saying.
Well,
I mean, it sounds negative. I get that you're tired of talking about the thing, but I don't think that I have to then sign on that what I was doing was pushing it too much.
No, you don't.
Okay. That's good. Boy, this is fun. We haven't had an argument in a long time.
Yeah, I don't know that we just had one now, really.
I don't think we did. I don't think we did. Maybe we didn't. Wait, I lost thought spiral. You want to go to the next question while I look for it?
Sure.
All right, cool.
Wits End says, hi guys, I don't know about you, but I am completely out to lunch when it comes to today's music. I haven't rocked in so long. When was the last time either of you rocked? And what's the hardest you've ever rocked? Also, when you really want to rock, what's your go-to?
Well, right now it's the Weaker Thens because I love that group and they play a theme song to one of these shows that I like. And I actually put that music choice on. I mean, I'm not promoting it because they probably don't, they don't pay musicians a lot of money. But I just put this music choice thing on that has, and I go to adult contemporary or whatever, or adult alternative, and I hear new music. Otherwise, I wouldn't hear new music.
Yeah.
But I have heard a lot of really good music that way.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I've ever rocked.
I love the Talking Heads. I used to rock out to. I mean, I would I went to Grateful Dead concert. I probably twirled around.
Yeah, twirling. I think once you're twirling, you're rocking.
Yeah, but I always felt weird when people were looking at me dancing. It's never good. It's not a good society.
Dance like dancing. Literally everybody is watching.
But I mean, I just think it's a weird society that we were brought up in. We weren't our age. We weren't taught to dance at all.
Whose age?
My age.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Did it get better? There's a lot of ballroom dancing when you.
We had a dance unit in gym once, which just made everyone uncomfortable and unhappy.
No, but I mean, the rock and roll dancing is tiring after a while, where I'm fruging and you're doing the monkey.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I say. All right. What's next?
I heard my
can do this.
sacroiliac doing the Watusi.
That's from, isn't that from Revolution number 9? The Watusi. The Frog. The Twist. I listened to that so many times because I thought you were supposed to.
Yeah.
Don't Call Me Lulu says, Andy mentioning human nature. He doesn't remember doing that. Leads me to the question, favorite track on Thriller? Mine is Human Nature. I don't know the albums that well. I like a lot of those songs, but that is a great song.
Why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why? I never live it that way.
Does he say hee hee? I was reading an article where they said that he goes hee hee.
I think he does say hee hee, yes.
And what about this one? I can never Shambo.
I don't think it's Shambo, no.
What is it?
Shambo! Shambo!
He's a person, if he had tried to come back and do his songs not earnest, like Cat Stevens, it wouldn't have sounded good.
No, it would not have.
Do you find it's hard to talk about him? I do.
I don't really.
I think it's probably just OCD.
Yeah.
And people, I'm thinking, well, you're talking about him as someone you go, how can you like his song Human Nature when he was a horrible person? I can't really listen to his stuff anymore. The whole thing is just depressing to me.
All right, let's move on then. Jason from behind the paywall Parton says, can Andy just call me fuckface? That's all I need today. Thanks, guys. Love you.
Look, fuckface. I don't call you. Let me explain something to you, Jason from behind the pay. You don't tell me. I tell you. Oh, no. You listen to me. Oh, no. That's why I used to argue. When someone would argue with me. Until they would punch me in the face. People didn't like that.
Yeah.
Stephen, Elton, Yates, Stephen, Elton, Yates. Ooh. Stephen Elton Yates says, do either of you gents ever put on jazz?
Why is that funny?
Just the way he talks. First of all, no one says gents. Do either of you gents ever put on jazz as a listening choice? Any favorite jazz artists, jazz albums? Follow up, same question, but about classical music. I think he's just trying to fool us by asking. I've talked about Benny Carter. I know some jazz, and I love what I listen to, but I'm just not that familiar with it. I'm not in the school of people who has any negative feelings about jazz. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. I do put on jazz as a listener. I listened to Miles Davis Kind of Blue during dinner last night, during the dinner of braised short ribs that I made.
That's so funny. That juxtaposition, that killed me.
It sounds.
You don't usually sound excited when you're describing things.
No.
Last night when I was having dinner.
It sounds like I'm floating in an NPR tote bag while I say it, too. And I have a lot of favorite jazz artists. Among them, Miles Davis. I like J.J. Johnson, who's a trombone player. I like Wayne Shorter's earlier stuff. I like Herbie Hancock.
I love Louis Armstrong.
I like Thelonious Monk. I like the Adderley Brothers. Louis Armstrong I like.
I like the guy, your feet's too big. I can't use you because your feet's too big.
Is that Fats Waller?
Yes. Why do I sound angry?
What in
Calm
the
down,
name
Andy.
of Fats Waller is that?
What's that from?
From the Muppet movie.
Why, it's a 4-foot prune.
I never saw the Muppets movie. I wouldn't enjoy it, right? Because it wasn't part of my generation.
No, you would totally enjoy it.
Oh,
you really would.
Is that the one with Ricky Gervais, though?
No. But Steve Martin's in it. Richard Pryor's in it.
Oh, but they have been making more of them. You're talking about the original.
The original Muppet movie is what I'm talking.
Is that where they had that song?
That's the only one I can vouch for.
Where they go flowers and shoegaze and things like that. Isn't there a song like that? And
Why are there so many Songs about rainbows and what's on the other side. Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La-dee-da-dee-da-da-do. You're not stopping me.
I like this song. That was a sweet song. Who wrote that? I don't know who wrote this.
I think Paul Williams wrote it.
Oh, wow.
He wrote most of the stuff for that movie.
And let me guess, Elmo sings it?
No, that was Kermit the Frog.
Okay, so Kermit the Frog is the most popular of the characters?
He's the central figure, yes.
Okay. And he's always nice, right?
Yes. Except when he's pissed.
And who's okay? Then, but the sugar cookie monster. Oh my God! Josh, we have to talk to you about Andy today in the home. He started talking about these Muppet characters that don't exist.
You've never lived till you've heard an old person talk about child characters.
I miss Floppy, right? Andy, shh. I look forward to that. That's going to happen. I know. Shh. Don't make such a big fuss about it.
This is quiet time. Yes.
Oh,
yes, Andy. We all agree Jon Stewart was overrated. No, he's not a thinker. No, he's not a thinker.
I told Susan one more thing like this. I'm rescinding your. He's not a thinker. You are no longer going to be my proxy anymore. My medical proxy. I'm going back to Susan. And she's a tough customer, too. Oh, yeah, pull the plug. Oh, did he really say the wrong name of a Muppet? Pull the plug. There isn't a plug, Josh.
Well, damn it! Pillow me.
Don't smother me, Josh. Seriously.
We're going manual.
Josh, do not smother me. That sounds terrible to me.
I'll smother you with love.
Well, I have to get this image out of my mind that you are going to be like the movie with Betty Davis and Joan, whatever happened to Andy Kindler.
Think of me as Chief.
Oh, it's too real, Josh. This is too real. My problem. Okay, I'm trying to get back to our thing now.
All right.
Okay, you read the next one, right?
I'll do it if you'd like.
Yeah, yes, please.
Chaotic Neutral says, hey guys, just wondering if Andy plans on returning to the road once things get back to normal. Come on, Andy. Don't you miss the crowds, the applause, the money? Josh, same question, but as Rich Brotherton.
I think we started talking about it. So like if I went to Montreal, which I don't know that I am going to go, I wouldn't go with Susan.
Yeah.
And then I would maybe quarantine myself until I knew I was negative when I came back, something like that. But I just don't know. I don't know. July seems like a long time away, but I think it's getting closer.
It is getting closer at a fairly steady rate.
What's it like there now?
I don't know. I don't have my viral map up.
And you've been on planes and stuff.
I have. I have a gig in May at Acme.
Yeah. You know what? I don't really have the answer to it. And the more I think about it, the more I think, I don't know if me pondering in a OCD-like way will be good podcast listening. What am I going to do?
Yeah, that would be such a break from our format.
What? I don't like to bring my issues to the show. I try to make this show about the show, not about me. Imagine if I was that disturbed.
Shecky Flop Sweat says, Josh, everybody seems confused about Ukraine. It's not about oil and gas. It's about wheat. Ah, he's doing a me reference. Wheat.
Okay. What show is this from?
It's from my song, Pieces of Eights. I'm actually saying wheat, which is the French word for eight. Wheat, wheat, wheat. Wheat, wheat, wheat. Ocho, ocho, ocho. You've heard it.
Oh, that's the Paul Simon song.
It's the one that has the Paul Simon reference at the end.
Right. Isaac Crow says, "Oh, I love this day. This was such a great day. Happy 22222 day. I turned 33 today because numbers never line up like that for me." Oh, well, what should I do now for a 1/3 life crisis? Stop sticking it in our thing that he's probably 30, right?
33. He said it the sentence before.
Isn't that I used to do this joke. Isn't that the year that Jesus got his big break?
Uh-huh.
I did that joke, Josh. It was
Did you?
Killed.
And you're not using it as your worst example?
It's always good when you ask, like, somewhat, like, pleadingly or whatever, you know? You're really not going to use that one? Because that's really bad.
A third life. Well, the first thing you should do is maybe stop living with the belief you're going to live to 99.
I do have that belief. I do. I don't want to die. I don't want to die, and I don't want to have Parkinson's either. I don't want any of it.
I don't either. I don't want it for you.
Why are these things? Why is it happening with death and aging? It's ridiculous. If I knew this was going to happen when I was younger, I guess I would have continued, but I would have been even more upset about it. No. So I want people not to think I feel better than I've ever felt. I'm not a worrier. I don't hold grudges. I have a certain pep to my step.
Uh-huh.
So don't think that aging is a terrible thing, even though that it's terrible. I'm covering up.
My doctor just diagnosed me as having a hitch in my giddy up.
I used to call it the get along. Giddy up. Oh, giddy up. Isn't that a Kramer thing? Giddy up. You do the next question.
Alrighty. M. Leadsom. Not a question as such, gents. Just fondest regards to you both as ever, and a belated happy birthday message to Michelle.
Wise Carver. What a lovely message. When was Michelle's birthday? Should I have known this?
It was a little bit ago.
Oh, that's impossible for me to remember that far back.
Happy birthday, Michelle.
Happy birthday, Michelle. Wise Carver. These notes are, That's written there. William Bearclaw says, reality show, William Bearclaw, huh? I don't want to do that. Oh, Conquero.
Conqueror. Of TFG.
Of DFG.
Of TFG.
What is TFG?
I don't know. That's just his name.
Oh, it says it, but you have to, I'm not on my laptop.
I know, you're getting cut off.
Yeah, it's terrible. A reality show concept. Put the 5 most popular Fox News hosts together in the crater with 5 live, ravenous, actual foxes. Now, this is the thing that you may be kidding. If that was allowed, I would like to see that.
I'm with you.
And it's a takeoff on the, it's the 5, right?
I don't know that it was so much.
Well, that's the only show they have, though. The 5. That's the show where they have 5 assholes at 4:30 every day yell like idiots, like Greg Gutfeld and stuff.
10-speed and/or brown shoe says, question, 2-part. What is the worst spice, and why is it allspice? Because in all seriousness, fuck allspice straight to hell.
I've never used it.
Not a fan. Not a big fan myself. I mean, with cilantro sitting there, I can't totally agree with you. But if we're going to put cilantro in the herb category, then I'll back you.
I never use the sumac that they supply with the kebab meals, but that doesn't mean it's not good.
I was just sort of savoring the sentence. I've never used the sumac they provide with the kebab meals.
It is kind of, it is kind of like, someone doesn't know that they're eccentrically going down the,
Why do you bring
off the
Why
thing.
do you bring it up, Andy? Give him another 30 cc's.
Honestly, I don't enjoy the condiment that comes with. My shawarma.
Yo 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 yo.
I said yo 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 yo
Yoshiyama, Yoshiyama, mama 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 mama. Andy, are you going to have to hit up your brother now that Whoopi Goldberg finally said something funny?
What'd she say?
I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand really anything about that.
I thought what she said was funny was the Holocaust wasn't about race. Is that what we're referring to?
I don't know. She's in the news again because Kyle Rittenhouse said he was going to sue her for calling him a...
Oh, okay.
But I don't
All right. I haven't had time to look at my trending.
Yeah.
I love Aria. Is this the first question she's asking? And I never really knew how to pronounce her last name. Aria Ahari. Wonderful person. What's a Duran without a Duran? Wait, that was on SNL Mike Myers. Let me think. I don't remember that bit from Mike Myers.
I don't either.
I didn't know Duran was going solo. Is he going solo?
It's not a he.
Duran is not a women, are they?
No. It's just not a person either.
You sure?
Yeah.
It wasn't the Duran brothers?
It's not.
From Fresno?
No.
Are you telling me there was nobody named, was there anybody at least named Ramon?
I don't think there was anyone actually named Ramon. No.
Right. Wow. I didn't know that. And some of their stuff was good, but Jane Wilson, you know Jane Wilson?
Yeah.
I think she makes up some stories sometimes. She says that she remembers all of us eating at some restaurant and that the Duran were sitting next to us in the booth and they said, "Oh boy, am I hungry." And I walked by going, "Are you hungry like a wolf?" Does that sound like it happened?
It sounds like it could have happened.
Well, good for me then.
It's plausible, but not necessarily believable. I went to John Taylor's house for the DeBar doc.
Who are we talking about? Oh, that's his name. Well, you fooled me. I didn't know he had a real name. Are they the Taylor brothers?
No, but there's 3 people named Taylor in the band that aren't related to one another.
That's last names?
Yes.
That is crazy talk. Oh. And what was he like?
He was very pleasant.
Does he look, they look like one of either Hall or Oates, right? Am I right about that? I don't know which one, but they both look like Hall or Oates.
No. It's not a duo, first of all. Duran. Get that out of your head.
Are they girls on film?
Yes.
See you much later. Girls on film.
Yes.
Go get a coat. I think I've turned the show around. Not that the show was going down.
You didn't plan it. You just did it out of reflex, flex.
Did they do this song? I was at a waitress in a topless place. That much is true.
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Okay, I'm okay now.
All right.
I'm not going to make any more outbursts.
Ronnie, in parenthesis, peace, says, down here in Australia, our toilets flush in the opposite direction to yours. If you were to do a poo down here, would you be scared our toilets would shoot it back at you when you flush it?
Could you please tell Ronnie in parentheses, peace, that I appreciate the question, but I do not react to these kind of questions because it's bathroom humor.
Nothing more about the Australian shit cannon, Ronnie.
I think we can go to the next one, right?
I think we can.
Bad Idea Society says, Andy, if your name was Kinder instead of Kindler, what kind of prize would you contain? I think I would contain the same goo that a Kinder. I think it would be better because those are the most horrible tasting things, those Kinder eggs. Kind eggs. What are they? Kinder eggs.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
I've never had one.
Well, don't you want me to have one more thing that I can't let go?
I want you to have, I want you to have both inner peace and inner nougat.
Jon Stewart likes him. What do you think of that, fuckface?
He's not a thinker! He's not a thinker!
That sounds like me, like angry and then just almost completely lost. And I sang that.
That's what I was going for, really.
That was excellent. Slim Reader says, why don't you like Noam Chomsky? How close can comedy get to political truths without ceasing to be comedy? Who doesn't like Noam Chomsky?
I don't love Noam Chomsky, but I don't have any kind of boner out for him.
I mean, I don't know enough about him. I mean, he's like, he says things that are interesting to me, but I don't follow him. I'm not anti him, though. I don't really know.
I know my brother was sort of annoyed with him because he's a linguist who presents himself as a philosopher.
Oh, is that what he does?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely does, but you know, he's entitled to. As far as
he's certainly intelligent.
Yeah,
and he's certainly said things that were interesting.
I read Manufacturing Consent way back when, and he's a very smart dude.
Right. I'm going to say you should.
Mike Parrish says it's 22 in Big Sky. It's negative 22 in Big Sky this morning, and I almost had to crawl inside my tauntaun to stay warm. 2 questions. Does Andy get the reference? And if you had your druthers, what animal would you choose to cut open and climb inside in order not to freeze to death in the wild?
I would go something big, like a giraffe.
Okay.
I don't get the reference.
It's a
tauntaun. Is that like an igloo?
No, it's a 2-legged animal, like horse-like animal in Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, is Big Sky mean Montana?
I believe so.
Man, Mike, you got a lot of references. I once had
That's
my
another
brother's
joke I used to do. I was just in Montana. Big Sky country. Big Sky, little tiny fucking airport.
Oh, boy. Those were the days.
Oh, yeah.
I used to do a thing. Eat. Eat. I wouldn't stop with that. Eat. We have a picture of a knife and a fork. Come on.
And I would choose a tauntaun. I would also choose a tauntaun, despite the fact that I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Isn't that from a Star Wars movie?
Can Andy learn?
I'm really losing it, Josh. I'm losing it now. I'll go with Richard Cole. Richard Cole says, Andy, I'm a fan of plenty of Jewish musicians from New York City. Who do you think best represents New York? Kiss, the Ramones, Beastie Boys, or someone else? I always think of Lou Reed.
Yeah, Lou Reed's a good one.
But I think that my knowledge of New York is, people don't think I know about New York, but I don't think I have a lot of knowledge of New York things because I moved when I was 21.
Yeah.
So.
But after all but the Beastie Boys debuted.
I don't even know that the Beastie Boys were Jewish.
Yes, they were.
How about you? Billy Joel? Is Billy
one
Joel?
of them was the son of Israel Horowitz.
Israel who?
Horowitz.
Who's that?
Playwright.
Oh, okay. I do remember that name.
We're out of questions. But that doesn't mean we can't hit you up for money. Go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral if you want to support the show.
Yeah. And I just want to say that.
Oh, geez.
Maybe Josh and I had an argument today.
Maybe
we didn't see eye to eye.
He's not a thinker! He's not a thinker!
Wait. I wanna go to Patasa and yo, and then you know, and I love you too. Ah, wah 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 wah, wah 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 wah, ah 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 ah, oh oh oh. He was never a thinker, Josh.